Hello, a very warm welcome to Dilip Oaks Academy's videos on SAT. In this video, we'll be focusing on evidence-based reading and writing section. Evidence-based reading and writing section consists of two more subsections. So you have your reading section first, in which you will have 5 long passages on which you will have 52 questions to be attempted in 65 minutes. This gives you approximately 75 seconds per question. In your writing section, again you will have passages. So the word writing is actually a misnomer. It's a misleading name because you don't have to write anything in the writing section. So you will again have 4 full-length passages on which you will have 44 questions to be attempted in 35 minutes. This gives you approximately 48 seconds per question. Of course, it is not necessary to take exactly 48 seconds per question, or for a reading section exactly 75 seconds per question. You can take more time for some questions, for some difficult questions. You can take less time for the easier ones, but on an average, you have 48 seconds per question for writing section and 75 seconds per question for reading section. The score for these two sections combined will be between 200 and 800, which means that your 0 is 200 and maximum possible score is 800 for entire evidence-based reading and writing section. So let's start with the reading section. In your reading section, as mentioned, you will have 5 passages which would be 500 to 750 words in length. Right now, just for example, we will take shorter passages and we'll take a look at some sample questions. At this point, please pause the video and read the entire passage, only the passage. We will solve the question together. I hope all of you are done reading the passage. Let's take a look at the question. The primary purpose of the passage is to show. So let's understand the different ideas which are mentioned in the passage. In the first paragraph, it is clearly said that the little curly-haired Eppie, the weaver's child, became an object of interest at several outlying homesteads. So she was definitely an object of fascination. She was definitely an object of interest. The child was an object of interest. Next it says, hitherto he had been treated very much as if he had been a useful gnome or a brownie, a queer and unaccountable creature. So he was definitely treated in a bad way. The attitude of the people towards he, as in towards the weaver, was bad first. But later on it says, but now Silas met with open and smiling faces and cheerful questioning. So now the attitude had changed towards him. And towards the end, the passage says, everywhere he must sit a little and talk about the child, and words of interest were always ready for him. So there is definitely a change of attitude towards this particular character. With this in mind, let's look at the options. A. Hypocrisy of villagers towards a weaver and his child. This is definitely not the correct answer, because there is no hypocrisy mentioned anywhere at all. Because it is clearly given that the villagers were definitely fascinated with the child. B. A change in attitude towards a character as a result of change in his parental status. Now this is definitely a possible answer, because there is clearly a change in attitude towards this character. Earlier he was treated in a bad way. Now he is being treated in a good way because of a child in his life, because of change in his parental status. So C. Fascination of villagers with the weaver's child. Okay, this is also mentioned in the passage. Possible answer. Take a look at D. Obsession of weaver with his own child. D, again not mentioned. It is definitely mentioned that he was fond of his child, but it is not mentioned that he was obsessed with his child. So between B and C, which is the correct option? C says fascination of villagers with the weaver's child. This is definitely a part of the passage, but this is definitely not the main idea. This does not cover what the entire passage is trying to say as a whole. Fascination of villagers with the weaver's child is mentioned. It is partly correct, but not the main idea. B covers the main idea of the passage, a change in attitude towards a character as a result of change in his parental status. So B is the correct answer. So this was a primary purpose question. To get the answer to this question, generally you will need to know, you should have read the entire passage. Take a look at the second question. It can most reasonably be inferred from the passage that Silas was unwilling to leave the child in Dolly Winthrop's care because your options are he liked the attention and sympathy which he received upon bringing his daughter into the village. He cared for his daughter and didn't want her to be punished by Dolly Winthrop. C. He wanted his daughter to get all the attention and sympathy from the villagers. D. He wanted to change his image to that of a doting father. Now let's go back to the passage and identify that part of the passage which talks about Silas not willing to leave the daughter with Dolly Winthrop. So it is this line. These lines talk about Silas took her with him in most of his journeys to the farmhouses, unwilling to leave her behind at Dolly Winthrop's, who was a bit strict with the child but always was ready to take care of her. So this tells us that he was unwilling to leave the child with her because she was a bit strict. So now if we go back to the options, option B says that he cared for his daughter and didn't want her to be punished by Dolly Winthrop. This matches with the idea in the passage which says that he was unwilling to leave her because she was a bit strict with the child. Therefore, B is the correct answer. Now, let's take a look at another question type. This is a best evidence question. Which choice provides the best evidence for the answer to the previous question? So you need to figure out which lines support the answer to the previous question. So such a question is invariably linked to your previous question. So as we saw, lines 2 to 5 again support our answer. So our correct answer is A, the same lines which we referred to while solving the previous question. So in this way you will have many other question types in your reading section. Let's take a look at the writing section. As mentioned, the word writing is a misnomer here. In the writing section you don't have to write anything. You will again have full length passages based on which you will have to attempt a series of questions. So you have questions which can mainly be categorized into two types: standard English convention questions or grammar questions and expression of idea questions. So a part of the passage may be underlined and you will have to figure out whether the underlined part needs to be changed or not. So in this case you can have questions which are based on grammar. Maybe the underlined part of the passage is grammatically incorrect, maybe it has punctuation errors. Accordingly you can select the correct answer. For expression of ideas, you should understand the logical flow of ideas of the entire passage. So questions could be: which option serves as the most effective conclusion for the paragraph? Which option serves as an effective introduction for the paragraph? For this again you need to understand the main idea of the paragraph. With this in mind, let's take a look at a sample passage. Again, so so under standard English conventions, you have questions based on subject verb agreement, noun pronoun agreement, pronoun ambiguity, parallelism, comparison, modifiers, verb tense, punctuation. All of these topics are covered under grammar, standard English conventions. With this in mind, let's take a look at sample passage. Again, the passage will be much longer in the exam. This is a sample passage, so it's shorter. As you can see, in the given passage, you have certain numbers and certain portion of the passage has been underlined. So for example, you can see number 1 in the passage and corresponding number 1 corresponds to question number 1. And you can see that there is no question stem. You directly have options. So what you are supposed to do is, the word populates has been underlined. You need to figure out whether the word populates needs to be replaced with any of the words given in the options. So let's attempt this question. To attempt this question, let's read the entire sentence which has the relevant portion. So seed dispersal, a mechanism by which certain plants populates new sites for germination. Certain plants populates is definitely grammatically incorrect because it violates the rule of subject verb agreement. If your subject is singular, your verb has to be singular. If your subject is plural, verb has to be plural. So certain plants populates, it should be certain plants populate. So C is the correct answer for question number 1. Similarly, let's take a look at question number 2. Plants whom used this method only for dispersal are more susceptible to population decline. Plants who or whom is to be used only for people. So the correct answer should be, anticipated answer even before we look at the options should be plants which use or plants that use. So now let's take a look at the options. No change, they, who and that. So that is the correct answer. So D is the correct option. Okay, so these two questions were examples of questions based on standard English conventions. Now let's take a look at a question based on expression of ideas. At this point, the writer is considering adding the following sentence. Scientists recommend more research to understand the impact of pesticides on propagation of plants. Should the writer make this addition here? Yes, because it provides an appropriate conclusion, reiterating the main idea. Yes, because it provides an appropriate example of a concept illustrated in the previous sentence. Option C says no, because it blurs the focus of the main idea of the paragraph. Option D says no, because it provides inappropriate transition from the preceding information. Now, at this point, please pause the video for a minute and read the entire passage. I hope you are done reading the passage. Now in this case, if you can identify what is the main idea, or rather the passage starts with scientists are still unable to find concrete answers to the effect of pesticides on propagation of flowering plant species. And the last line says that the effect of pesticides on such plants again is unknown. So we are going back to the main idea, and the main idea is that effect of pesticides on propagation is actually still unknown. So this particular sentence, scientists recommend more research to understand the impact of pesticides on propagation of plants, will definitely provide a good conclusion because it is reiterating the main idea. Therefore, A is the correct answer. No other option fits. So please note, your answer just cannot be correct based on yes or no. It has to be backed by good reason. We hope you found this video helpful. Do check out our blogs for more information about SAT and other exams. Do check out our videos on the website and also on our YouTube channel. If you found this video helpful, do check out demo lecture as well. Thank you for watching. Thank you.